So here's the news for June 10th for AI for professionals. And the one main thing I wanted to point out here is the about the how AI development basically is becoming autonomous, as it says here. Now, traditionally, when we use AI, and this is how most of us have learned it, is that the human writes a prompt and then the AI gives the output. And that's how it's always worked. And that seems kind of intuitive these days, and once you figure out AI, that seems very intuitive. But the emerging workflow is instead this. Human gives the goal, the AI then plans, codes, tests, debugs, retries, and validates. And and so this gives rise to what it calls here autonomous loops, where basically the AI can write the code, test the code, evaluate features, revise the solutions, rerun validation, etc. Now, for those of you who've been following this channel or following my newsletter, what I do, this might sound familiar, especially when I talk about the prompt code that I set up for translation, where I asked it to do a draft translation and then check its own translation by verifying on the web and then with legal dictionaries and glossaries and other examples that it can find online, and then correcting what it did as a draft translation and coming up with a proper translation. This is something similar. And so what it does, and it finds out that AI is doing more and more of this, and it's becoming better and better at this, of checking its own work, if you will, and kind of reprocessing it until it comes up with something that's acceptable. And it's calling it, in fact, agentic RAG, R-A-G. This is retrieval augmented generation. And without getting too much into detail, retrieval augmented generation is basically well, actually, it lists it right here. Traditional RAG is a retrieval augmented generation, is where you ask a question, performs a search, and then it retrieves whatever needs to be retrieved, and then that's it. The agentic RAG is where it retrieves it, and then, as I said before, it kind of checks it, and then gives you back the improved retrieval. Now, some of you might have heard of RLHF. This is a reinforced learning human feedback, and so this is something similar, except it's without the human feedback. I.e., it's just it gets all the information from whatever databases it's using, right? And actually, this is a good way for it to counteract its own hallucinations, toxicity, copyright issues, whatever it might be. And depending on the initial prompt and also the spaces that you're working from and the instructions you give it, it could do a lot of this all on its own. So anyway, I just wanted to point out that AI is doing a lot more of this. Obviously, if you want to read up, you can read up more in detail online of what's going on. But here, a good thing about what business leaders should take away: focus on deployable AI, not AI promises. Okay, that's we don't care that much. Prepare for autonomous workflows. So it's evolving, as it says here, from a chatbot assistant or copilot toward more an agent or autonomous worker, self-improving workflow. So this means it acts more like an agent, even if you're just using the model, even if you're just using the Claude, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, whatever. It can self-improve and self-correct itself, and it's doing this a lot more. And so you should be able to expect a lot more from your AI in the near future. Anyway, that's basically it. I just wanted to give a brief update and hope you can find that useful. And if you want me to go into more detail or find more practical uses for anything I mentioned in these news updates, feel free to let me know. But for now, I just wanted to point this out. And that's it. I'll talk to you next time.